2 days left to go of our 12 days of calmness. Now I know I've said it before that we're racking through it, but now we're really racking through it. So thanks for sticking with me. Hope you've been enjoying it. Let's get going. Now day 10 means we are back to the voice. Now last time when we were looking at the voice, we were looking at our breathing posture from our first breathing video and giving ourselves a little gentle hum and progressing that on from maybe a lower note to maybe a little tune, just again that little moment of humming as our point of pause and reflection. As well as that, in our breathing video I mentioned that when you're doing your exhale that I quite like to go and there are other options for breathing out through your mouth, but that's the one that I gravitate towards, and that's going to be a little contribution to our video today as well. So when you think of going, it's like a sigh, isn't it? So what I'd encourage you to do first of all is to give yourself 3 of those, 3 gentle little exhales in through your nose, letting it out. We're just going to apply a bit more voice to this. So that's just our breath really, it's just an aspirate sound. Now we're just going to go, try that. You might get a little bit of fruitiness like I just did. I'm glad that happened because I want you to know that that's okay. Just try again. Now things to look out for with this are, don't worry about getting too high. Just because you perceive my pitch to be like, you can go, but it's just that application of voice that we're looking at today. And with that, we're not kind of dumping into our sigh. So I could do this, and we're not kind of dumping into our sigh. That actually makes a feeling of like, I need to cough if you do that. You're kind of smacking the vocal cords together with a bit of like exertion. So what I sometimes like to do is, you can do this with your, the breathing posture, but I sometimes like to put my hands on my shoulders just to remind me that if I see any lifting in my peripheral of like, like that, that's not what I'm going for. We're kind of starting with what we have. And it's more that internal sigh rather than a wave with the entire body of like up and down. That's one of the things with our breathing and voice in general, is that we tend to prepare or over prepare and then let go. And it's those extremes that aren't really necessarily useful for your calm or for your singing or breathing. So yeah, just trying to get into a nice flow is really, really useful. So again, 2 or 3 of those just to really settle you down. Now, if you do have some resistance, if you kind of have that thing going on in your voice, that's absolutely fine. Particularly if we are stressed or we've had a busy day, we might find that we've become a little bit muscularly jammed up, if we could call it that, just to kind of generalize. So we might be a little bit like up here with our voice and we've kind of been there. So then to suddenly go, might take a bit of staggering. So don't worry about any of that. We want it to feel nice. So aim for the relaxed feeling rather than the sound of the sigh that I'm doing, or any kind of proper singer's it's not about that. It's just and letting it naturally go on its own little descending trajectory. So today, using the voice to have a gentle sigh. Start with the breath, 3 of those, and then move on to or whichever you prefer. And again, you've just taken an opportunity to settle everything down, taking you from maybe up here with it to that sort of force and rigidness to settling into your body and centering down into yourself. So I hope you found that useful. I'd love to hear about it. Can't wait to see you for day 11 tomorrow.